Hey guys, okay. Hey guys, okay. I decided to go live again. I am sitting on the floor of my living room, and I kind of am already digging doing it this way a little bit better. Um, I feel like I can clearly get my thoughts out to you guys. I see one person that's already joined the live. So I feel like let's just restart this. Let's pretend like those two lives earlier today didn't happen. And I figured out what the technical difficulty was, what was going on with everything today, okay? So what initially happened was my phone overheated in the car when I was doing the live. It was hot after being rainy and after being cold in Atlanta. Today had the nerve to be hot, okay? And then I was stuck in traffic. My phone sits on top of my dashboard. It overheated. So those were the technical difficulties I was having earlier. I say all of that to say, let's get into this live. Hey, Latanya, how are you? Um, so the episode starts, right? It's Karen calling Ashley. She's like, "Hey, girl, I'm going down to Sutter." Yep, it was hot. It was Hotlanta today. I got muggy. The wind. We're getting off track already. Hey, Latanya. so like so like she's like, I'm going down to my hometown. Are you willing to come? Ashley's like, if this was 5 years ago, I would have some reserves, but now her and Karen's relationship, as we've seen over the seasons, has gotten better, right? So the two of she agrees. She also says Giselle is going, which, like I said, I think I found it interesting that because Karen throws mad shade at Giselle in the confessionals. I said in a previous video, sometimes it borderlines unnecessary, and she still was throwing it this episode. I'm sorry, I got something stuck in my teeth. I think I'm gonna snack while I do this. Anyways, so Karen invites Giselle as well. They both agree to go. We cut to another scene where I believe it's Wendy and her sister. They're talking about how, Wendy is talking to her sister about how she would like to change careers. I think it's so funny because, like, if me and my brother are talking about changing careers, uh, the last thing in our mind is how a parent would react. You know, it's like, oh, I'm thinking about working here. I'm like, dope. Does it pay more? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I think about working here. He's like, dope. Does it pay more? And I'm like, yeah. So it was really interesting to see a different sibling reaction because Wendy was able uh, to imitate their mom so well, even down to like the little the teeth smacks. So I thought I thought that was so funny. I'm still on the fence about Wendy outside of her being a CNN commentator. Oh, by the way, I was saying earlier, her being a CNN commentator, her working at John Hopkins under the guise of being a CNN commentator, like you know when they put the little, Desmond L. Ward nail technician, right? If I'm talking to you guys about nails, reality shows, pop culture, I may be believable, but you're not coming to me for Desmond Ward nail technician for your politics. Like I wouldn't go to a housewife for my politics. So like Wendy is ready for that to no longer say professor at John Hopkins, and she's ready for it to say Real Housewife of Potomac, and she want to get on there and bash the president and have an opinion on politics. I'm sorry. It does seem like a lateral move, in my opinion, but, well, lateral. Whatever. It seems like a declining move, but she knows what she's doing. I think Wendy is a very smart and intelligent woman, as she has proven with all her degrees, right? We skip on over to Candace and Robin having, what looks like tea at Candace's house, or as so many people like to say, Candace's mom's house. Well, whatever, at Candace's house, and they're catching up. Robin's like checking on her, seeing how she's doing. She's talking about how like she's traumatized and all that, and then Robin drops the bomb. Monique was not remorseful. Oh my gosh! Somebody get Candace a tissue, because and I believe that emotion was so real because it was the ugly cry. There is that fly from the debate. It's in my house and it's being disrespectful. So it was the ugly cry, even though Candace usually can give us a really cute cry. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but like when she folds up the tissue and she's like still holding it together, that's the cute cry. She like broke down when Robin said that Monique wasn't remorseful. Granted, nobody's trying to force Monique to be remorseful, but we like to see it, So they're talking about that. Candace ends up bringing up Robin's tax issues, right? And Robin's like, "Oh, I thought I would do my own taxes, and I messed up. I wasn't as great as I thought I was, right?" Which I can understand, right? Reasonable Robin. I can understand, but she was caping hard on Karen with Ray's tax issues in the previous seasons, and it is her issue because Juan and Robin are no longer married, so I'm sure they file separately, and it makes sense that Robin would be doing her own taxes, not because they're broke or anything like that, but we remember from seasons past when they revealed that the friend of theirs stole their money, right? So I feel like Robin shelters money now. Like, if somebody said they can come in and they can do something for her and if she could just hand them the card and they had a free budget, even if she was capable of doing that, I don't feel like she would, because she's traumatized. She had a friend steal from them. So of course she's doing her own taxes. And from what it sounds like when her and Juan, I'm skipping ahead, when her and Juan met up at this old restaurant, she shows up in this black hair. And can I tell you, I do not like black hair on Robin. I did not like that wig on Robin. It washed her out. Maybe her hair, you probably hear my dog in there rustling his pants. It did nothing for me, and I didn't really like it being long either. It was wrong, but she says that wasn't Robin, that was Tatiana, her and Juan are role playing, and Juan's name is Dylan, and they even like bring up the tax issues, and he says, that's on you, which leads me to believe that their taxes are separate. And then Robin goes on later on to discuss that it was just like something as simple as submitting a form. So I don't believe her tax issues weren't that serious. Like, that's why I guess we're kind of glossing over it, because they showed it to us to kind of be like a non-factor in this episode. Let me put the charger in this thing before it dies. Excuse me, you guys. So I guess I'll still talk. So what didn't happen? Candace is talking to Robin about her talk with Karen. Karen told her that she would, if it were her, she would pursue legal action. Who am I getting a call from right now? What? Thank you guys for joining my messy live. Oh my gosh. Can I roll the speech? I honestly, of course, 8,000 things would happen at one time. Sorry about that, you guys. So we got the juice in. I don't know that number. Okay. um, Robin and Candace are talking. And Candace is telling Robin about how, like, Karen told her if it were her, she would have pressed charges. Which I think that was just a friend moment, friends conversing. Like, but that is also, those are also words of egging someone on. Like, if you witness a fight or a verbal altercation and you say, girl, you better than me. That's like, egging someone on. Like, oh, you're at a point in life where you better than me because I would have. And it makes that person feel like if they have solidarity in this move to do whatever they're gonna do, right? So like in Candace's mind, legal action probably was already back there, right? But then Karen said, girl, if it were me. So Candace was like, you know, like, legal action. So that probably sparked the idea. Didn't spark the idea. Well, maybe it did. I don't know. I can't tell you what these people are thinking. So Robin doesn't really care too much for Candace. We see that already. Not Candace, for Karen. We see that already. So she's like, she's enjoying this, right? She's like, wow, that's kind of different from the spin Karen put on it at the little group meeting they had, right? She's like, Karen didn't hold Monique accountable at all, which we see the clip. She did. You know, Karen said, hey, Monique, what you did was wrong, and blah, blah, blah. So, that kind of, I think that puts a bug up Candace's behind, because as we see today, her and Karen aren't in the best of space. I don't think they're not friends, but I don't think they're as close as they were, you know? We cut from there and we're in Surrey County, Virginia, Karen's hometown. Karen's hometown looks a lot like my grandmother's hometown of Garfield, Georgia. Very small. Fashion has not hit there yet, you know? Like they're just getting 2001, you know? So like, it was interesting. I love Karen's family. I love Karen's interaction with her family. Her and her aunt share a story about when she goes to a Michael Jackson concert as a kid, well, as a teen or late teen, whatever. She was old enough to need it to be taken there by somebody. And her aunt, her aunt says, you would have thought Karen was on stage herself, which lines up with the whole grand dame appearance that Karen likes to put on. Like, we're going to jump back, okay, because we're in Surrey, but we're jumping back to when they got in the car. Ashley looked fantastic. Robin had on some clothes, and Ray was being mean to Karen, right? But I don't think, I would hate for them to have issues, because I like Karen, and I want to see Karen happy, right? Ray makes Karen happy, so I want to see Karen and Ray work out. Ray's not here to put on for the cameras, you know? Like, I do think there's love still there, and he loves her, right? But he's not here to be kissing her every 5 seconds for the camera when they don't do that every day. That's the vibe they give me, you know, that Ray gives me. Ray gives me like, I love you, you know I love you, but now that the camera's around, you really want to push this I love you crap. You know, I can't see in my mind him going, more than a week without telling Karen, I love you. So, like, I think she puts on for the camera because for so many seasons, Karen's life has been kind of out of whack, right? Somehow, right? But she's held on to the fact that her marriage has been an institution, right? Now that she's successful in the business world, she wants to have the business and she wants to have that perfect marriage life again. And things have shifted, right? They keep saying Ray wants to go to Florida. Ray, you are not missing out on anything in Florida. The weather is nice, but you're not missing out on much. I don't know. It hurts I hope by the end of the season, by the reunion, it is still an institution and they have worked out the stuff that they need to work out. Let's hop back to Siri. Giselle is hating. Giselle is like, oh, it's 3 people in this parade, and Karen doesn't want them to get into, I think it was a Rolls Royce or Bentley, some expensive car that you would think these ladies at their amount of wealth wouldn't be wowed by. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can afford a Tesla or if you can afford a one of whatever that is, you're not wowed by it. So that was a humbling experience to see that they still get excited by luxury items, because they were really excited, and the fact that that car would be in a parade to me seems, I don't know. I guess parades are open to all cars. I'm just used to seeing floats, especially for a high school homecoming. No, that was appropriate. Cars were appropriate. The Rolls Royce, whatever, it was way too flashy for whatever town they were in. Made sense. It's all making sense, you guys. Karen was there to show up and show out. That period. Ashley and Giselle, while walking in the parade, because they couldn't get in the car with Karen, they start talking about Karen's interaction with Ray. Touched on that already. We're not going back there. Ashley says because her mental has shifted, which I said this in the previous video. It's all fun and games. You down to swing, to do the threesome thing, to do X, Y, and Z when you are boyfriend and girlfriend. Even when it's just the 2 of you. Plus, baby, something happens where a switch happens where it's like, dang, it would be nice if it were just the 3 of us. And Michael still wants to dibble and dabble. So much where I think Ashley left the baby with him as punishment. Last time I went on a trip, you showed your behind. You watching the baby this time. She did state that she worries and all of that stuff. She said in her confessional that she stuck a tracker up his butt and made a noise and said he didn't even feel it. I don't even want to touch on that because, what? So they end up going to Karen's childhood church, and this was a very emotional scene. It brings up Karen's mom and dad. She reiterates on, right? She reiterates on how they passed away 7 months away from each other. And she says if you lose one parent, you soldier up. If you lose both of them within 7 months, you survive. And I lost both parents, but I couldn't imagine what it would be like to lose both of them back to back, and at the age that Karen was, and we could already see that she had tons of respect for her dad. They probably talked about everything. And then now Ray has the nerve to be acting like this when she doesn't have like her security blanket to go talk to. You know what I'm saying? That it was all in all, it was a really emotional scene. It was nice. It was nice to see like Giselle and Karen's relationship is weird. They would lead you to believe that they absolutely 100% do not like each other. But there's a frenemy thing there that I love, or there's something that connects the two of them. Because in that moment, like Giselle was like, "Should I go check on her?" And Ashley was like, "I think, this is her moment." And she was like, "Okay, cool." But I genuinely feel like Giselle would have went and checked on Karen. Like that was a genuine emotion out of Giselle, and I feel like Karen would have done the same for Giselle. Their frenemy situation, I enjoy watching, even though Karen can be kind of critical with the with the shade and the confessionals. Giselle can too, though. Giselle's like, I knew Karen for 100 years. That means you would have to be 100 years old as well, Giselle. So you've run out of ways to call Karen old. So you've run out of so many ways to call just Karen old that you are now including yourself in the decrepitness. Like, let's stop playing. Karen's bad. She wears the clothes and the outfits and the fake hair, and she looks good in all of it. Maybe there's some work done, both shady and slick with it too. Right. Well, I wouldn't say slick. Their shade is not. I feel like good shade should be inconspicuous. Like no one else in the room should know the shade is thrown except the two people throwing it. What the kids are doing now. This level of disrespect that's being thrown around under the guise of shade. You know what I'm saying? Shade is not blatant to me. I think like a few people who get it in the room and the person that it's aimed at, that's shade. You know what I think they're just nasty, Like the things that they say in these confessionals, there's no creativity behind it. And I think shade deserves a level of imagination and creativity. If everybody in the room know you're throwing shade, you're not really throwing shade. It's a bright day out because we all see what you're doing. Whatever. Moving on from there, because tons of nice moments, outside of Giselle being a hater. And she's like, oh, Karen should feel all of the pride of what she is feeling coming from such a small place, And no, she may not be an A-lister, but she's a somebody. We know who she is. I'm sitting here talking about her. So, like, she should have felt great about that. And I know if I had the opportunity to show up at my old high school and show up and show out and all my classmate kids seeing me in their homecoming. We move on from there, and I believe this is like the meat of the episode. We see Monique talking with her pastor. Monique has one of the coolest pastors I've ever seen. I swear to God, I thought he was about to show up in a suit, and I thought the first lady was going to be in a matching suit set, the skirt with the blazer, dressed real usher board like, if you have that mental registry. But they showed up and they were so young and cool, and they couldn't be my pastors. I only take my Jesus from old people. Like they were way too hip, but he like dropped so much knowledge and pulled so much out of Monique. I would love to believe that this moment was genuine. They sit at the table. She goes over, her side of what happened once again in the fight. Um, and the pastor like cuts her off. He's like, so you said you blacked out. He's like, and she's like, yeah. And he was like, basically, times have changed, huh? Yeah, definitely. So, so he he basically puts her whole "I allowed her to take me out of my character" excuse to rest. He says you've been fighting, you've been surviving, you had to fight for your marriage with Chris, and the criticizing of that. You were bullied when you were younger, and you had to fight for blah blah blah. And even in Potomac, she has to fight. So she's been in the mode of fighting and survival. And once he was saying all those things, she realized that her anger in that moment, or her anger towards Candace, had nothing to do with Candace. And she felt like she owed Candace an apology. This was, when I tell you, it made my heart grow so big. Like, this was the Monique I wanted to see during that meeting with the girls, but the environments were definitely different. One, you have Giselle coming in with a bodyguard. On the other hand, you have your pastor and your first lady. You have no fear that no one's going to curse you out or demonize you when you're with the pastor and the first lady, but around the girls, your defenses may be up. So I understand that, but like, getting a little choked up. I'm sorry, you guys. I understand that, but like, oh, why am I? I'm so sorry. I have a tendency to feel other people's emotions sometimes, and I was feeling that sounds crazy. And I feel like I was feeling where she was in that moment, because I've been there, where like that realization, that light bulb comes on where you were in the wrong and you realize that you should apologize. And that level of disappointment she must felt with herself, So it was just it was nice to see her have that come together moment, because she's been so I don't want to say hard. She's been so tough this whole season. She's been so cool, calm, and collected. Nothing bothering her. She's been like Holyfield, and it finally came to a head. Unfortunately, in the same episode, we've got Candace talking about legal action, right? Is Candace wrong for the legal action? No. Should Monique has been prepared? Yes, because I've said this a couple of times. I was over on Properly Bonafide's channel. We were talking about the previous episode a couple of days ago. And I made the statement that, like, we're all grown. At this point in life, we've got things to lose, if not reputation, if not material things. We've got things to lose. So the way we move now, fighting and putting our hands on people, it has to be different, because there was a time that I'm not as wild as I used to be. Those people like her make you want to. Yeah, like, I do not dislike Monique, you guys. Like, if anything, this episode made me more team Monique, because it was a human moment, right? I love seeing human moments, especially on reality television shows, because they're so caught up in being grand and showing all of this. But when you peel back the layers of material, what's left? Human, And let's be honest, Monique has been looking fantastic. She's like a black Barbie doll, you guys. She's so pretty. She is. I think she's like the most stunning woman on the show. Second to Robin. And then, like, it's a melee, the softer side of them. Yeah, like, definitely, LaTanya. It's definitely worth seeing someone be vulnerable, In what it seems like in the next coming part of this season, it's gonna get crazy. In the trailer last week, they showed Chris getting ready to fight someone. Candace is Chris. And in the next one, Ray's telling Karen off, you know. All in all, I think the episode was a really cool episode. I would love to hear what you guys think. Let me know. Do you think it was right for Karen to even state, "Can't wait, the men turn up"? No, I don't want to see it. I don't want to. I don't want to see the men turn up. Like, what it looked like is it looked like it was with Chris and Michael. I don't think. I can't even pretend to imagine what that fight would look like. All I know is I don't want to see it. You know, like Chris fighting on an old man. Isn't Michael in his 70s? He's like 76, 78 or something like that. It always happens on the Housewives and the men get a turn. When have the men, wait, I remember Greg and Peter getting into, no, I don't remember any male fights on the Housewives. I remember the men. I remember Danielle Staub's husband getting involved, and Margaret pushed him in the pool. But generally, when the men get involved on these shows, it's frowned upon. You know, like Denise Richards' husband did not get a pass for being opinionated about what was going on with his wife. It was seen less masculine of him to come to her defense. People surprise me. Like, how people think really does surprise me sometimes. Anyway, you guys, I've been on here way too long. I got a puppy in there that I got to feed. Would you guys like to meet him? You guys want to meet my baby? He's a little tiny something. I'm going to go get him. Hey, cool. Come here. Come say hi to the people. Hey, look. Sit. Sit down. Okay. You're going to say hi? He's like, okay. Thank you, Cody. It's fine. I'm going to feed this guy here. We'll talk and chat up next week. I think I'm going to come to you guys from like this from now on. No, Crystal, it's not a puppy. It's a... Come here, bud. Come here. It is a real... I mean, they quiet for a minute, then they got a storyline to turn up, not fight, but more like in the scenes. True. I definitely agree with you, LaTanya. They definitely get vocal at times. Buster is not a puppy. He's 3 years old. He is... Come here. Look. He is a mastiff pit bull. And he likes to think that he is spoiled. Thank you, sir. He truly thinks he's a puppy. Like, he was about to get in my lap with the kisses, you guys. Anyways, let me feed him. I enjoyed this so much. Oh, wow, he is a big boy. We will talk in the next one. I'm coming to you guys like this from now on. This was so much fun. I think if I give myself a chance more, my thoughts will come out clearly and less fast. I don't know. Anyways, I love you all. I hope you had a great day and the rest of your night goes amazing. Sweet dreams. Bye, y'all.